You're trying to make a good impression on your partner's parents. How do you go about that, and how do you not? Friends holds the key. Doom, 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 doom. This is Friends Gets Therapized, the series as I'm going through the show and I'm responding to the things that I'm seeing. So in this, we're going to talk about Chandler is trying to bond with Monica's dad because he and Monica are a thing, and we'll see how it goes.
Hey.
Hey, how was it?
Well, I had a great time. Chauncey, on the other hand...
I will tell the story. It was going great. I let him win. We were bonding. He even said that I could call him Dad.
And what did he ask you, not to call him?
Daddy. All right, look, here's the story. Well, we had just finished playing racquetball, and we were going to take a steam. I walk into the steam room, and it's really steamy. So I take off my glasses, and that's when it happened. Guys?
Over here.
Have a seat, son.
Hey!
Oh my God, Chandler, I can't believe it.
I know.
You gave my father a lap dance.
Why do they put so much steam in there?
Because otherwise they'd have to call it the room.
Why, okay? Why? Why did that have to happen?
Come on, it's not that big a deal.
Not that big a deal. There was touching of things.
Chandler, I know you wanted to bond with my dad, but did you really have to bond to that part?
Listen, I'm sure that Dad doesn't care. He probably thought this was really funny. He'll be telling the story for years.
I don't want him to tell this story for years.
Oh, but he will. He still tells the story about how Monica tried to escape from fat camp.
I wasn't escaping.
Then how'd you get caught in the barbed wire?
I was trying to help out a squirrel.
You were trying to eat it.
If that is your father calling to tell this story, then the marriage is off.
Wow.
Come on.
Escalated quickly.
I'm sorry, you have the wrong number. Okay, I'll call you later, Dad. I love you.
Okay, so most of us will never have a situation that disastrous, but there are so many open-mouth insert foot stories having to do with future in-laws or current in-laws. The only thing and there's a whole movie with Ben Stiller, right, about this very subject, Meet the Parents. It's natural to be intimidated. It's natural to be afraid. You want to make a really good impression because you want this person, you know, in older times would be you want them to sign off on the relationship, sign off on the marriage, and to some extent, you know, we still look for that in a lot of circles. We look for the blessing, we look for their consent. But no matter what the dynamics, they're the parent of the person that you love, and you want to have a good relationship with them. And my experience is that sort of thing, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and the more pressure we put on ourselves, the more we freak out, and the worse it goes. No matter what you're doing, if you're freaked out, you're probably going to be on edge, and you're not going to think clearly, and you're not going to act at your best. So if you're trying to make a good impression on the parent of your partner, start with breathing. Breathe slow and deep, what Alicia calls box breathing. In, hold, out, hold. Do that until your heart rate slows down. Do that until you feel like you're thinking clearly again. Do that until your muscles relax. The only reason Chandler did what he did is because he was nervous. I mean, yes, he couldn't see where he was going, but he also just kind of came and plopped right down. And if he wasn't nervous or freaking out, he would have said, okay, let me know where everyone's sitting, because that would be the smart thing to do, right? Or to reach out with your hand and say, hold your hand out so I know where you are. Okay, you're here, I'm going to sit here. He could have thought of that if he was calm. The next thing is to recognize that the person that you love has already chosen you. And very often in establishing autonomy from childhood to adulthood, we go against our parents' wishes anyways. So whether or not their parent approves of you, the person that matters most already does. Yes, it can and does help. And they may come into it with a very skeptical, critical eye because they want to make sure that the person that they love, their child, doesn't end up in an abusive, neglectful relationship. So be understanding of where they're coming from. You may have the deck stacked against you from the beginning. I have a dear friend that her husband, her parents didn't like him, and didn't like him from the get-go for not really any valid reason. And it took several years of him showing up, of him being an attentive and caring husband for them to overcome their biases of him, and they love him now. Sometimes this is about the long game, not the short game. Those are my 2 cents on making a good impression with your in-laws. I certainly, when I met Alicia's father, I was intimidated, and I worked through it just by being me. I figured and I trusted that I was enough, and that did it, more than if I had overcompensated or tried really hard. If you enjoyed this video, we've got a whole Friends playlist here for you to check out, but what I want to know is, what did you do to win over your in-laws? Or did you have a really bad experience with your partner's parents, and what did you get from that? Let us know in the comments below. As always, folks, keep shining. We need your light, and here is that Friends video that I was telling you about. Check it out.